Welcome to our video, dedicated to Sony's journey toward becoming a highly profitable company. Today, we'll embark on a fascinating journey through the history of this innovative company, which has become a symbol of quality, reliability, and technological breakthroughs. Sony is not just a name, it's a brand synonymous with cutting-edge technology and exceptional quality. First introduced to the world in 1946, Sony began as a small electronics company. At the time, no one could have predicted that this venture would grow into one of the most influential and successful companies in the history of technology and entertainment. From its earliest days, Sony stood out for its ability to anticipate and set trends. Initially, the company focused on creating high-quality consumer products like radios and televisions, but over time, its ambitions and innovations led it into entirely new and unexpected areas. In this video, we'll explore how one brilliant product catapulted the company to a whole new level in the global market. After its successful start in post-war Japan, Sony continued to surprise the world with innovations. In 1979, Sony released a device that forever changed how we experience music, the Walkman. The idea of creating a portable cassette player came from Masaru Ibuka, one of the company's founders, who was a passionate music lover and dreamed of being able to listen to music anytime, anywhere. This device became a symbol of personal freedom and individuality, reflecting the cultural shifts of the time. The Walkman was easy to use and had good enough sound quality to become a true hit, but most importantly, it was the first device that allowed people to carry their music with them. This was a revolutionary step that impacted not only the electronics market, but culture as a whole. With the release of the Walkman, Sony proved that it could not only meet existing market needs but also create new ones. The player demonstrated the company's ability to anticipate consumer desires and create products that became part of everyday life for millions of people worldwide. Trinitron televisions, introduced in 1968, were another major achievement for Sony, and their success continued into the 1970s and 1980s. Trinitron stood out from other televisions by using a single-gun electron beam technology that improved image quality, making Sony's TVs among the best on the market. Sony continually refined its televisions, adapting them to the changing demands of consumers. Trinitron became the foundation of the company's television business and solidified its position as a leading manufacturer of consumer electronics. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Sony continued to release new Trinitron models, meeting the growing demand for high-quality televisions. VCRs became an important part of Sony's business in the 1970s and 1980s. The company released its first color video recorder in 1968, marking the beginning of a new era in home video. In 1975, Sony introduced Betamax, a videotape format that was the first of its kind on the market. Betamax was technologically superior, but faced fierce competition from the VHS format developed by JVC. Despite its high quality, Betamax failed to dominate the market, as VHS proved to be more cost-effective and convenient for the mass consumer. This defeat was painful for Sony, but provided a valuable lesson on the importance of not just technological superiority, but also marketing and distribution strategies. By the late 1980s, Sony decided to expand its influence by purchasing Columbia Pictures in 1989 for $3.4 billion. This was one of the most significant steps taken by a Japanese company in the media and entertainment industry, demonstrating Sony's serious intentions to become a global player not only in electronics, but also in content. The acquisition of Columbia Pictures was part of Sony's broader strategy to integrate technology and content. The company saw the future in the merger of hardware and software, creating an ecosystem where consumers could enjoy content created and distributed using Sony devices. However, managing the film studio proved to be a challenging task. In the early years after the acquisition, Sony faced several problems, including financial losses and difficulties in adapting to the American film market. Nevertheless, this move laid the foundation for Sony's future success in the entertainment industry. By the late 1980s, Sony was facing increasing competition from other Japanese and international companies like Panasonic, Toshiba, and Philips. Each of these companies was striving to take the lead in the consumer electronics market, offering consumers high-quality and innovative products. The competition became especially fierce in the television segment, where brands like Panasonic and Samsung began introducing their own enhanced models that could compete with Trinitron. Video technology was also not delivering the expected returns, as Betamax lost the format war to VHS. Sony found itself in a situation where traditional business lines were not generating enough profit growth, and it needed to seek new opportunities to maintain its status as a technological leader. The economic downturn in Japan in the early 1990s presented a serious challenge for all Japanese companies, and Sony was no exception. Japan's economy, which had grown rapidly in the post-war years, began to experience difficulties due to a stock market crash and a real estate market downturn. These problems led to a decline in consumer spending and worsening financial performance for many companies, including Sony. In such conditions, the company had to reconsider its strategies and seek new revenue sources beyond traditional markets. Amidst intensifying competition and economic recession, Sony began experiencing profitability issues. The company realized it needed to explore new areas of development to maintain its market position. Betting on innovation had always been a key strategy for Sony, and the company's leadership decided to continue along this path. During this period, Sony began actively exploring the potential of entering new markets and creating products that could give the company a competitive edge. It was during this time that the idea of creating a gaming console emerged, which would eventually become one of the company's most successful products, PlayStation. In the early 1990s, Sony had no experience in developing gaming consoles, but was actively seeking new markets and avenues for growth. During this time, the company began collaborating with Nintendo, which was already one of the leaders in the video game market thanks to its NES and SNES consoles. Initially, Sony planned to develop an add-on for the SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, that would use CD-ROM technology for games, allowing for improved graphics and sound quality. This project was called the SNES CD. At the time, CD-ROM was cutting-edge technology, promising to open up new horizons for the gaming industry. However, the relationship between Sony and Nintendo proved to be complicated. In 1991, at the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, where Sony was supposed to showcase its new device, Nintendo unexpectedly announced the termination of its partnership with Sony and revealed that it had entered into an agreement with Philips, another company also working on CD-ROM technology. For Sony, this was a significant blow, but instead of giving up, the company decided to push forward. The company's leadership, especially Ken Kutaragi, who was responsible for the project, made the decision to develop their own gaming console. This decision marked the beginning of the creation of the PlayStation, a device that would go on to change the video game industry forever. Nintendo's rejection spurred Sony to independently create a gaming console. The company decided to develop a system that would use CD-ROM as the primary data storage medium. It's important to note that CD-ROMs offered significantly more storage capacity compared to the cartridges used by competitors, opening up new possibilities for game developers. Sony's leadership supported the idea of creating their own console, understanding that this could be a major step forward for the company. The project involved the best engineers and designers, and work began in earnest. The main goal was to create a powerful yet affordable device that could win the hearts of gamers worldwide. In 1994, after several years of intense work, Sony released its first gaming console, the PlayStation. The launch first took place in Japan, followed by releases in the United States and Europe in 1995. PlayStation immediately drew attention thanks to its technical specifications and relatively low price. The console used CD-ROMs, which not only improved graphics and sound quality but also allowed for longer and more complex games. Moreover, due to the system's open architecture, PlayStation became an attractive platform for game developers, leading to the creation of many hits like Final Fantasy VII, Gran Turismo Psych, and Tekken. PlayStation quickly gained popularity and began to dominate the market. Within a few years, Sony became the leader in the gaming console market, surpassing competitors like Sega and Nintendo. The console sold millions of units, and each successful game brought Sony enormous profits. PlayStation didn't just change the video game market, it transformed Sony itself. Gaming became one of the company's key business segments, contributing a significant portion of its profits. The success of PlayStation solidified Sony's brand as a technological leader, unafraid to experiment and create innovative products. The company actively built on this success, releasing new games and updates for its console. Thanks to PlayStation, Sony was not only able to overcome the challenging times of the early 90s, but also reach new heights, becoming one of the most profitable companies in the world. After the phenomenal success of the first PlayStation, Sony didn't rest on its laurels. In 2000, the company released PlayStation 2, PS2, a console that became the most successful in video game history. The PS2 supported backward compatibility with PlayStation games, making it immediately appealing to millions of owners of the previous model. The PS2 not only improved graphics and performance, but also became the first console to allow DVD playback, turning it into a multifunctional home entertainment device. This feature was one of the factors behind its massive success. With over 155 million units sold, the PlayStation 2 became a true phenomenon, profoundly impacting pop culture and the development of the gaming industry. Sony actively expanded its gaming ecosystem. In 2005, the company introduced the PlayStation Portable, PSP, a portable gaming system that allowed users to play high-quality games anywhere. Although the PSP didn't achieve the same heights as home consoles, it still carved out a significant niche in the portable device market. In 2006, PlayStation 3, PS3, was released, and despite a challenging start due to its high price, it gradually solidified its position thanks to powerful hardware and a wide range of exclusive games. The PS3 also played a crucial role in the development of online gaming through the PlayStation Network, PSN, which allowed users to play multiplayer games, download content, and connect with other players. PlayStation 4, PS4, released in 2013, continued the success of its predecessors. It became one of the most popular consoles of the 8th generation, offering enhanced graphics, virtual reality support, and powerful exclusive games. The PS4 also became the foundation for further development of the PlayStation Network, including subscription services and digital game distribution. Throughout the years of PlayStation's existence, Sony faced stiff competition. Microsoft, with its Xbox, and Nintendo, with its unique approaches, constantly pushed Sony to find new ways to maintain its leadership. However, with high-quality games, powerful hardware, and smart marketing strategies, PlayStation consistently managed to stay afloat and maintain a significant market share. Sony skillfully adapted its consoles to the demands of the times, offering users not just games, but multifunctional entertainment devices that could play movies, music, and even support virtual reality. PlayStation became one of Sony's most successful products, not only pulling the company out of crisis, but also establishing it as one of the biggest players in the world of technology and entertainment. The success of PlayStation demonstrated how one right decision could change the fate of an entire company, turning it into a highly profitable giant. Today, Sony continues to develop its gaming division, incorporating new technologies such as cloud gaming and virtual reality. PlayStation remains a critical asset for the company, continuing to generate significant revenue and strengthen its position in the global market. PlayStation was the brilliant solution that changed Sony's destiny and made it one of the most successful companies in the world. This story is a vivid example of how courage, innovation, and the right strategic decision can dramatically change a company's position in the global market. What do you think lies ahead for PlayStation and Sony in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more fascinating stories from the world of technology and business.